In recent weeks, we discussed how the new Ferrari F1 2025 might take shape and, more specifically, the areas where Maranello's engineers have focused their efforts to improve the SF-24. Suspensions, sidepods, floor, internal aerodynamics, and wings. These are the 5 main aspects being worked on and will feature prominently in the new car set to be unveiled on February 19th. Regarding suspensions, we can now add, based on recent information gathered from various news media outlets, that the work aims to address the shortcomings seen in the SF-24 under certain qualifying conditions, particularly in bringing tires up to temperature, especially during the first part of a qualifying lap. The recurring problem with Pirelli tires faced by Ferrari during the 2024 Formula One season was related to both the inability to reach and maintain the optimal operating window in qualifying and, at times, a performance drop-off compared to rivals. Specifically, the rear tires, if not properly managed with an optimal race pace and without sudden demands or overheating, caused Ferrari drivers to lose performance in some cases and forced them to make early pit stops for tire changes. If the Maranello team aims to win the Formula One championship again, improving qualifying performance compared to last year must be a top priority for the Ferrari engineers and technicians, especially considering the likely competitiveness of McLaren, Red Bull, and even Mercedes, which is expected to come back stronger in the 2025 Formula One campaign. In 2023, Ferrari was very strong in qualifying, but struggled significantly with race pace. In 2024, there was a radical shift for the Italian side, with race pace often becoming Ferrari's strongest weapon against its rivals. For 2025, under Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur's clear directive, the goal must be to achieve convincing qualifying performances alongside race pace that matches the competition. Last year, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz often struggled in the first sector of a flying lap during the qualifying sessions due to problems with tire warm-up or saw performance drops at the end of the lap due to tire overheating. Expanding the temperature range, even by a few degrees, within which the tires can operate effectively, could provide a significant competitive advantage. Lewis Hamilton's arrival at Ferrari has also influenced these changes. During preliminary meetings, the British driver reportedly shared his preferences regarding balance and suspension setup. Ferrari's highly anticipated 2025 F1 contender, codenamed 677, is therefore expected to represent a major evolution for the Scuderia, with new technical director chassis Loic Serra helping shape its mechanical design. According to recent reports in the Italian and international media, since joining Ferrari from Mercedes in October, Loic Serra has already made significant contributions to the 677 project, particularly focusing on the car's suspension and its interplay with Pirelli's tires. Coming off a promising 2024 Formula One season, where the SF-24 secured 5 wins and Ferrari narrowly missed the Constructors' Championship by just 14 points to McLaren, the Italian team has opted for an ambitious overhaul. While the SF-24 excelled at tire management in races, it struggled to generate the necessary heat in qualifying, often leaving Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz starting further down the grid. Loic Serra has zeroed in on this issue, working on specific elements of the car's suspension, such as anti-roll bars, springs, and dampers to improve tire performance across all conditions. The goal is to reduce overheating while also expanding the tire's operating window, thus optimizing the balance between qualifying and race pace. The SF-25 will adopt the pull rod suspension layout at the front, a solution approved by Serra for its ability to lower the center of gravity and improve kinematics. These changes could be a game-changer for Ferrari, especially in light of the fierce competition expected from McLaren, Red Bull, and Mercedes in 2025. The Frenchman's expertise in vehicle dynamics has already brought a solid dose of optimism to Maranello. While Loic Serra will focus more heavily on Ferrari's ambitious 2026 Formula One car, his influence on the SF-25 has allegedly been immediate and substantial. Loic Serra has transferred his experience to the red car, not just on kinematics but on suspension components aimed at maximizing the potential of Pirelli's new tires, according to the report. With Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari this season, the car's enhanced qualifying performance could directly benefit the 7-time world champion. The Briton, who underperformed significantly last season in terms of qualifying results relative to his Mercedes teammate George Russell, is expected by many to thrive with a car that prioritizes improved tire warm-up and consistency over a lap. Lewis Hamilton is preparing for his first season as a Ferrari driver, having officially joined the Scuderia on a multi-year contract from Mercedes earlier this month. The British star stands as the most decorated driver in Formula One history, having equaled Michael Schumacher's long-standing record of 7 world championships in 2020 before becoming the first man to surpass 100 race wins and pole positions the following year. Lewis Hamilton, who celebrated his 40th birthday earlier this week, was heavily beaten by George Russell in qualifying last season, starting behind his teammate at 19 of the 24 races in F1 2024. It prompted the British driver to admit at the penultimate race in Qatar that he is not fast anymore. The 7-time F1 world champion is to receive his first taste of Ferrari machinery in what is expected to be a 2-day wake-up test at Fiorano in the week commencing January 20th. Ferrari have traditionally held a private test at Fiorano in January in order to get team and drivers back up to speed ahead of official preseason running, with Hamilton set to drive either the 2022 or 2023 car for his maiden outing. With F1 2025 marking the final year of the current regulations, most teams are expected to produce an evolution of their 2024 cars for the new season as attention turns to the major rule changes for F1 2026. But Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur recently revealed that the team's 2025 car codenamed Project 677 will be completely new compared to last year's SF-24 in a bold statement of intent. Further adjustments to the 2025 Formula One project include a shorter carbon gearbox that allows for better weight distribution and a lengthened front body to optimize airflow around the sidepods. These changes were overseen during the design process and before Loic Serra's arrival by Ferrari's Diego Tondi, Fabio Montecchi, and Marco Adorno. The car, which passed its crash test on its first attempt at the end of last month, is currently being assembled under the watchful eye of Diego Ioverno and will be unveiled on February 19th at Fiorano. Loic Serra's guidance is expected to help Ferrari address its long-standing Achilles heel in qualifying while retaining the race day strengths that made the SF-24 competitive last year. Ferrari are said to be aiming to fully exploit the new for 2025 Pirelli tires, having been among the teams to have worked closest with the supplier on the development of this year's rubber, which are expected to be less prone to overheating and capable of longer race stints than the 2024 tires. As the Scuderia looks to end its championship drought, Loic Serra's influence could be the catalyst Ferrari needs to reclaim Formula One glory. As the launch date approaches, we expect to gather more interesting updates, both about the suspension and other technical aspects of the new Ferrari Formula One 2025 car, known internally in Maranello as Project 677 and likely to be called the SF-25.